Hello. Welcome to the second episode of my game devlog, where I aim to make a game that I've been imagining for the past 8 years. I hope you enjoy the ride. So far, my approach to development has been about making systems and establishing pipelines. This way, I can test them and make sure that I avoid scrapping my work later on. I'd say it sounds quite practical and smart. Or so I have been telling myself. In reality, I've been working around any kind of gameplay and just worrying about the future, and that's a no-no. Kinda. But good news is that I feel like I've fleshed out quite a few systems, especially the items, meaning that now I can actually start making more fun things. This past month, I've been also learning and growing. I started with experimenting around with shaders, which will definitely help me improve the visuals of my game. Then I delved into UI, in which I added much needed clarity on what's happening in the game, like health, descriptions, attributes, and build-ups. I really struggled at first to understand how everything works, and to be fair, I still am not fully sure, but now I can make a better guess why something is broken. During the UI creation, I discovered that I quite liked the dark grey and gold accent combo, and so I think I will be using more of that for now. And I also found a very nifty plugin that helped me switch between textures if the player is using a keyboard or a controller. Talking about controllers, when designing how players use their abilities and how they equip items, I was influenced by mostly two things. First one is seeing time as a resource for this game. I want the player to use it wisely and make quick decisions instead of comparing every item number by number. That's why I don't plan to allow the player to pause the game to browse their inventories. However, it has to be mentioned, I will still allow the player to pause the game with the usual pause menu, and the player will have all the time they need to read through their item descriptions and numbers in the campfire areas that are going to be between the levels. The second influence is two of my favorite games, Phantasy Star Universe and the original Dragon's Dogma. Both games allowed the player to access their extended skill menus when pressing some button, thus allowing the player to have a wide range of skills. So, with these two combined, I've arrived at the way I'm handling player actions. I'm hesitant about automatically equipping items into the first available slot. It would feel inconvenient, as some people might want to put things like dash and sword attack in primary slots, while things that are more utility centered would go into the extended actions. Though in the future I will add ways to view the inventory, read through the item descriptions and switch actions around. But currently that's not my primary concern, and simple pop-up window will have to do for now. I'm also glad how the health bar turned out. I was inspired by old school games with decorated health bars, so I wanted something similar. Huh? What's that? You're saying that the red pulsating bit breaks the color palette? First of all, shut up, and second of all, I think it looks cool and I don't care.
Oh, can you hear it? I've also added some sound effects to various bits of the game. I wanted to start incorporating audio into my game early, since audio really helps with enforcing various emotions, and it's good to have time to experiment with it.
And thus I hit my local audio dealer. Honestly, I really struggled finding particular things I wanted, since there were many results and finding the correct tags was quite difficult. There was a cool feature that would suggest similar sounds, and while it didn't give me anything useful, I got a very good chuckle when I saw this. Not all sounds that I ended up using make me happy. They will do for now, but in the future I will do another pass of searching and maybe even create my own. By the way, I've been making short video updates and uploading them to my YouTube, Instagram and TikTok. So would you kindly check them out? Love you! Now, onto the thing that was mentioned last episode, the synergy system. The basic idea I have is to have a bunch of events and things that react to them and let them communicate through some central system. For example, I created Caustic Brittleness Glyph, which negates any poison damage and grants power-up attribute to any entity that's poisoned. I really like these kinds of game rule modifiers because they can create some interesting situations while playing. Looking at the roguelike greats like Binding of Isaac, it's obvious that the ability to see the paths you took in your journey, in this case, seeing picked up items augmenting the visuals of your character, feels satisfying and gives that extra feel of progression. I want to do the same thing with glyphs. And since I'm a weeb, whose favourite anime is Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, I decided to make magic circles that will hold and show currently equipped glyphs. I've added support for them to appear, spin around, and be coloured by the glyphs. When I have more of these modifiers to test with, I also want to add extra effects when the ring gets completed, like additional particles or animated bits within the rings. Now, I mentioned attribute. This is the new name for personal effects. Why? Because I hated the original name, even when writing it down. Why did I use it then? Because I'm a silly goose and struggle with English language sometimes. After encountering a blog about emerging game systems, I realized that I could express so many more things as attributes, like flammability or heaviness of entities. I'm still unsure how deep I will go with it, but it's nice to know that I should be able to do it if I wanted or needed to. And that's what I have been up to for the past month. I hope you enjoyed it, and I would like to hear your opinions, like what do you think about the glyphs? Did you enjoy this episode, or what do you think about the extended actions? Until next time, kisses and bye-bye!